amid adversity. Learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be inspired, be encouraged, be transformed. Together, let's take your power back with our host, Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach, Kim Yeater.
Well, hello, my freedom-loving patriots. Welcome to the Take Your Power Back show. I'm your host, Peak Performance Master Coach, Kim Yeater. Today's empowering program will encourage you to step into your God-given power, access your leadership, and allow your voice to be heard. In today's Take Your Power Back show, Super Sanctuary San Diego, take our border back. Yesterday, the San Diego County Board of Supervisors voted to adopt a board policy on immigration enforcement to enhance community safety. The results were a big yes. Oh, it's not what you think. San Diego has now become the 11th super sanctuary county in California. We have a very special guest who knows what it's like to be a freedom-loving patriot, who has been fighting to close the San Diego border and keep California safe. El Cohons Mayor Bill Wells will be joining us with this Super Sanctuary San Diego conversation. We're going to take a moment to thank our sponsors who make the Take Your Power Back show possible. And when we return, Bill Wells in the house.
When I started MyPillow, it was just a problem solution, one product company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use MyPillows, $25. MyPillow sandals, $25. And for the first time ever, our 6-pack towel sets, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack dish towels, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium MyPillows with all new Giza fabric, any size, any loft level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over. Your entire order ships absolutely free.
Thank you, Mike Lindell. MyPillow.com/Kim. Now, guys, we are in the midst of economic warfare. We know where we're spending our money, we're voting. So let's take some inventory. Where are we spending our money? Are we supporting Procter & Gamble, Colgate and Palmolive, Johnson & Johnson and Unilever? Those big box manufacturers literally are funded by BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard. We must bankrupt the corrupt, take our power back, and make the switch to the largest e-commerce American manufacturer. That's right. Your products are manufactured here in America with the best of science and nature. Our family made the switch 19 years ago, the best decision we ever made. Patriots across the country have joined forces, and we, the people, are taking our power back. So go today for your virtual tour to patriotsmade.com/Kim. That's patriotsmade.com/Kim. We the people take our power back. patriotsmade.com/Kim. I don't know about you, but I am taking inventory when it comes to where I am putting my money. And my money is going to support American-made manufacturers, and I'm going to make sure that I have gold and silver on stock. Verity Metals. Let's bring up that Verity Metals logo. Let's picture that. Guys, imagine this. You have the ability to take your 401k and your IRA and to make the transfer, transition that over to real hard gold and silver in hand, not just paper. So you too have the ability to have an actual gold and silver, platinum in hand with a local depository. We have them here in San Diego. You likely have them in your state as well. VerityMetals.com is the way to go. Right here, take a look. VerityMetals.com. Matt Geiger will personally take care of you. Go to VerityMetals.com. Let them know that Kim Yeater from the Take Your Power Back show sent you. VerityMetals.com. Let's take our power back. Have gold, silver, and platinum in hand. VerityMetals.com. All right, my freedom-loving patriots, I am so excited. Welcome back to the Take Your Power Back show. Now, here's the deal. Our show today, Super Sanctuary San Diego. Take our border back. If you're just joining us, you need to know that yesterday, the San Diego County Board of Supervisors voted to adopt a board policy on immigration enforcement to enhance community safety. The results were a big yes, but it's not what you're thinking it is. San Diego has now become the 11th super sanctuary county in California. And here to talk about that is Southern California El Cohons Mayor, who has been fighting to close the San Diego border and keep California safe. His name is Bill Wells. Bill Wells, come on in and welcome to the Take Your Power Back show.
How are you?
Bill, I am fantastic. And I want to say thank you so much for being that voice of truth, for being that person that was willing to stand up. Now, you were running for Congress. You have been fighting the good fight. Santi El Cohons, San Diego absolutely loves you. So thank you for all you do.
Thank you. It's nice to say.
Well, let's first talk, Bill, about what it looks like to be a sanctuary state, because I think most people are like, well, what does that actually mean? A sanctuary city, for example, are jurisdictions that protect illegal, let's say that again, illegal immigrants from restrictive immigration policies by limiting law enforcement cooperation with U.S. immigration and custom enforcement like ICE. 2017 was the magic year that Governor Jerry Brown signed the California Values Act, making California a sanctuary state. So when we just became the 11th, we've joined forces now with San Francisco, Oakland, LA, Berkeley, Fremont, Watsonville, Santa Ana, Santa Clara County, San Mateo County, and Sacramento. Bill, what does this mean for those of us in Southern California?
Well, first off, I really don't believe that sanctuary states or sanctuary cities actually exist. I think it's a made-up thing. There's certainly no legal designation. There's no way to officially be this. But what's happened is in 2017, SB 54 passed. You mentioned that.
Yes.
And SB 54 basically said that municipalities can no longer work with the federal government for anything regarding immigration. Say, for example, we arrest a Venezuelan gang member, and that Venezuelan gang member has committed the crime. Even if we know that they're here illegally, we're not allowed to call ICE. We're not allowed to call Border Patrol. We're not allowed to say, hey, we're transferring this person to a prison. We're not allowed to say, hey, we're discharging this person to the street at this location. We're not allowed to have any talk with them at all. And you know, I remember way back when we were looking at 9/11, and one of the big problems that they said that caused 9/11 was that there was no interagency communication. The FBI wasn't talking to the CIA, and they weren't talking to the New York Police Department, and nobody was discussing things amongst each other because they were trying to protect their own turf. We're basically doing that again. We're putting people's lives at risk for these. How do I put it? The stance that we're taking. They're trying to make a political statement, to follow a political narrative, to say, look how woke we are. Look at how left-wing we are. We're going to let illegal aliens live with impunity in California. So what has really put me in a bad situation is, well, first, over the last 4 years, we've had to cooperate because the state of California had laws, and then the federal government was also saying that we weren't allowed to cooperate. So we as a city, we don't take the law into our own hands. We follow the law. But now the situation has changed. Obviously, there was a huge election. Everything's changed. There's a new sheriff in town. And the federal government is saying, no, you have to cooperate with us. We're going to deport these people. We're going to keep America safe. And we want you to cooperate with us. So on one hand, we've got Tom Homan telling us that we need to cooperate. In fact, if we don't cooperate, we can face charges from the federal government. At the same time, we've got Governor Newsom saying, no, if you do cooperate, you're going to face charges from the state government. So our police officers are caught in the middle. Our cities are caught in the middle.
That's right.
And it puts us in a horrible situation. Of course, my city is a conservative city. I know that people don't think that exists in California, but it does.
It does. We love El Cajon. Yes.
And, it's our complete intention to be cooperative as much as possible. We want to see this immigration problem go away. And we want to keep our people safe. That's 90% of my job, is to keep the people of my city safe. That's why they elected me.
Well, Bill, I love this. So let's do this. We're going to pull up a video right now with Tom Homan on Fox TV. And he's going to talk, he shares specifically about how he is going to be handling this, what he calls mass deportation, right? How he's going to handle it with those sanctuary states and sanctuary cities. So let's take a look at Tom Homan's interview on Fox TV, and we're going to come right back. Do you hear that on your side? Okay, fantastic. You don't hear it. Liam, we're not hearing that on our end. Hang on, guys. We are live. This is the great thing about going live, is people actually get to see what goes into a show, because sometimes there are technical challenges. So we're going to pull that back up in just a second, make sure that sound is up and running. And this is a great segment with Tom Homan on Fox TV. Let's see what Tom has to say about how he's going to handle the mass deportation in the sanctuary cities. No sound on my end. Sound on your end? Bill, sound on your end?
No.
Okay. No sound here on our ends. Try it one more time, because 3 times is the charm. And if not, we'll just talk about it. Okay.
That's fine.
Let's do one more time. Okay. So can you hear it?
I've talked about this so many times. I think I know what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna drop the video, since we're not able to pull that up for whatever technical challenges. So Bill, Tom Homan, he is the border czar from ICE, for those who do not know who that is. He says, mark my words, there will be a mass deportation of undocumented migrants. It says the mass deportation of undocumented migrants in history. Then he goes on to say, mark my words, they will be removed. And those sanctuary states, maybe we can't go in, the way I'd like it to be, where I'm working with local law enforcement, which is going to make our job easier. But if you're not going to make our job easier with creating a safe space for your communities, then we're going to bring in the teams and we're going to make sure this happens. What are your thoughts on that, Bill?
Well, first off, yesterday at my city council meeting, we voted to send a letter to the Attorney General of California, Rob Bonta. And we said, hey, we want clarification on just what you're planning to do, because we're planning on cooperating with the federal government, because as far as we're concerned, federal law supersedes state law. So, we're going to follow the directives from the highest legal authority, which is the feds. What are your plans to do to us? And I anticipate that he's not going to even answer that question, but we want to make it known that we're trying to be cooperative as much as we can with everybody. But this is really what has to happen. We have pussyfooted around with this for quite a number of cycles in the political cycle. Republicans, I think, have a really bad habit of winning elections and then backing way off and saying, hey, we want to be nice. We want everybody to like us. Let's not ruffle any feathers. Let's be the reasonable and calm. And I've understood that in the past, but I think we're way past that right now. I think that the magnitude of what the Democrats have wrought upon us is so great that we have to take a very hard stand.
Yes, yes, that is such a good point. Yesterday I left the Board of Supervisors meeting. There was a press conference there. I spoke at that press conference. We'll share that at the end. Audra Morgan was there, Aya the Storm as well. But we had our warriors at the Board of Supervisors meeting standing up against 41, 36, and I believe it was 29. And I came out to a letter bill on my car, a threatening letter that was on the windshield of my car. And that goes to show you how wicked the forces are that we're dealing with. And you are absolutely right. We think we've won. Well, listening clearly, everybody that is listening to this far and wide, we are just getting started. We've got to put a stake in the ground, and we need to truly fight to take this country back. And we need to do that fight in wise ways by showing up, right? And by speaking up.
Yes. And elected officials have to stand up and do the right thing. I know a lot of elected officials, and most of them are really afraid to speak up and say anything because their entire focus in life is remaining elected and getting to that next office.
Yeah.
And that is such a cancer. If we're worried about the next office, if we measure everything we say by that, then we're not going to ever do hard things. We're not going to ever do the right thing for the people. And that's what the people expect of us. And so, I'm very proud of President Trump for not being conventional, for taking a hardline stand. And I think he's giving courage to many of the rest of us to stand up and go ahead and put our careers on the line to save America.
Bill, I love your heart. I was looking at your bio, a little bit about you. You have a psychology background. You weren't even into politics in any way. You were truly into helping the people, bringing healing to the people. So taking on this role as mayor and then even running for Congress, these were pretty big deals. And what makes you so unique is you really are about giving power back to the people and keeping the community safe. And you're willing to put yourself at risk by speaking the truth. We need to have more politicians like you.
It's funny. I don't want to go too far off the topic, but it was really COVID, which taught me the biggest lesson of my life, especially. Like you said, I never intended to get into politics. It kind of fell on me, and I figured I'd do it for a little while and then I'd be done. And it just kept going and going. But when COVID came, it became clear to me that I had to do something about it. And so I made a decision to tell my police department not to enforce any COVID regulations. And I knew that was going to be the end of me. I told my wife, I said, well, we're done. They'll throw me out of office right away, maybe even recall me. But the opposite happened. People really appreciated that. And I think if all of us could just understand that if we are courageous and we do the right thing and we don't think about our own personal careers, we'll be so much more effective and, frankly, more liked by the people that we serve.
100%. So good. It's a matter of, you either stand for something or you'll fall for anything. And if you do not stand for truth, I'm telling you, we are the ship without the rudder. We do not know where we're going. We are lost with the rest of them. It's going to take us being the ship with the rudder that is focused on where we're going, that is willing to put a stake in the ground, burn our ships, right? And say, I am standing on the truth. I am standing in the truth, and I am going to join in with what my forefathers did and standing for the freedom of this country, utilizing God's word and the Constitution. That is really what we've got to go back to. We have the opportunity, Bill, to take our republic back.
Yeah. I have a prediction as to how Tom Homan is going to handle it.
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited to hear. Bring it on.
Well, because, I think what the state of California is counting on is that we're going to take them to the Supreme Court, and that's going to take 3 or 4 years. And then, just about
a lot of money.
Yeah, just about the time they lose their case, they're hoping there'll be another Democrat controlled presidency. I don't think that President Trump or Tom Homan are going to wait for that. I don't think the Congress is going to wait for that. What I'm encouraging the Congress to do, and which I'm hoping they will do, is state of California say, you don't want to cooperate with us? Fine. We're not going to cooperate with you. We're going to hold back your health and human services money. We're going to hold back your housing money. We're going to hold back your transportation money, and you can go ahead and choke to death. And I think that's the power that Congress has. And
Yes.
they can implement that really quick. And believe me, with an $80 billion deficit, the state of California is going to last about 3 days without federal money before they get on their knees and beg.
Well, Bill, I have to tell you, a little birdie this morning who works up in some high-level security said those exact words to me today, that is very likely the step that will be taken. So if the state of California wants to continue to abet and what's the word I'm looking for? What they're doing is right now, it's completely illegal. Sanctuary states go against our Constitution. They're aiding and abetting in this illegal immigration operation, which means they're also aiding, abetting in human trafficking, the mass fentanyl that is killing Americans 3 times over. I mean, enough fentanyl to kill every American here in the United States 3 times. That is absolutely crazy. Not to mention that my uncle can't even, my 92-year-old uncle can't even get money as a veteran right now to take care of his needs, to get him to his doctor's appointments, because there's no more money left because it's being given to the illegal immigrants.
Sure.
Absolute shame.
By the way, I think we can also cure the homeless problem too. I think that the federal government could say, hey, if you want to live in filth, with turning your streets into anarchy, commit suicide on your own dime. The federal government's not going to help you with that.
Yeah,
I think that's the only way to get the attention of these politicians. They don't seem to have any basis in reality. They come up with these crazy mandates, and you say, hey, that's going to bankrupt. The average Californian is never going to be able to pay for that. And they said, yeah, well, that's too bad. That's what has to happen. So unfortunately, they're not willing to be reasonable. So I think the federal government's going to have to be unreasonable.
That's what it's going to take. You cannot reason with somebody that is in that constant survival lower brain. It's like you can't reason with a terrorist, right? So let's now talk about item 41. So this is one of the things that was on the table yesterday at the San Diego County Board of Supervisors. And it was to authorize agreement for migrant support services and the ability to undertake steps to expand funds related to FEMA shelter and services program. So that looks like $2 million goes to FEMA. And we know that money is going to go to NGOs like Catholic Charity Services, Jewish Community Services. These guys are also complicit in the aiding and abetting of illegal aliens. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, let's go back to homelessness for a second. So
okay.
in the past 5 years, California has spent $25 billion on homelessness. Mm-hmm. We have seen homelessness not get any better, but it gets worse and worse. This is a complete payoff to the NGOs. Democrat politicians tell their friends, start these NGOs. We can funnel tremendous amount of money to you. Your job is to funnel money back to us for our campaigns, and we can keep this going on in perpetuity. And we have absolutely no incentive to solve the problem, because as long as we keep the homelessness being the same problem it is, then we can keep going back and saying, all we need is another $5 billion. All we need is another $10 billion. That exact same thing is being recreated with the migrant crisis. There's no actual desire to solve this problem. In fact, you can tell by the way the county board of supervisors, all they want to do is hide the ball and try to obfuscate and stop people from knowing what's really happening. Mm-hmm. And in the process, all of their friends, and mostly union people, are getting incredibly wealthy over this. And the people that are getting screwed over are the San Diego or the California citizens.
That's right.
Who can't afford to pay their rent. They can't afford to pay the highest electricity bills in the country, highest rents in the country, highest food prices, highest gas prices in the country. They're being shut out, choked to death, while these NGOs and Democrat politicians are getting unbelievably wealthy. And there needs to be a revolution in California to take it back.
Ooh, the words. Did you hear the words? Okay, so going back to that little birdie that I spoke with this morning who works high-level security, Bill, Those were his words. That
Interesting.
there will be a revolution to take our country back. That's what it's going to get down to. We don't want to see that. None of us want to see that.
Well, you're already seeing a political revolution. I mean,
Yes.
more people voted for Trump by 15 points in California than ever before. You know, if you took Los Angeles out of the equation, Trump wins California. You know, Los Angeles voted 90% for Biden, but it's only these large hellhole cities
Yes, woke cities.
that are keeping the Democrats in power.
Yeah.
The regular people that live, most of the regular people that work and live and play and die here in California are regular, hardworking American people that just want to take care of their families and live a good life. They're no different than the people in all the rest of the states. It's the hardcore elitist leftists that live on the coasts. I don't know what it is about the water that makes people lose their minds or draws the crazy.
Yeah, draws the crazy. Yeah.
But it's really not. They don't have the stranglehold in California that I think they do, and I believe that whether it's a God intervention or it's a political intervention, we're going to see in my lifetime California come back.
I do believe that. So let's just talk about that God intervention for a second. So I often say that we are in the biggest spiritual battle of our lifetime. Yes, we're also at war right now. We are in the midst of 5th generation warfare. We'll talk about that in a bit, but spiritual warfare. How are you seeing this in the big picture on a biblical level of the times to come?
Look, we talk about this border crisis, but we very rarely talk about some of the after effects of the border crisis. The 100,000 of our kids dying of fentanyl every year. That is demonic. Yeah. Even more demonic is the 300,000 kids that have come across the border have disappeared and are in sex trafficking right now, being raped up to a dozen times a day. Yeah. Little girls and boys being raped a dozen times a day. How can you possibly, in any way, be okay with that? And to brush that aside and say, well, the rights of illegal immigrants circumvent the need for a 5-year-old not to be raped. If that's not demonic, I don't know what the definition of demonic would be. And so this is the manifestation of this spiritual warfare that you're talking about. And it's, the fact that we have told people, if you come across the border, we're going to ignore our own citizens, like your uncle. We're not going to get our veterans the care they need. We're not going to get our hardworking single moms the care they need. But we are going to make sure that if you come across, you're going to get $8,000 a month hotel room. You're going to get free health care. You're going to get free sex change operations. You're going to get free college. You're going to get free down payment on a house. All of these things which sound crazy and people say, oh, you're making that up. That's really happening. We as Californians are really doing, not to mention the fact that we're paying the legal bills of these people that have come across illegally into our country. If I have a legal problem, if you have a legal problem, the state of California and the county of San Diego is not going to pay our legal bills.
That's right.
And yet we've paid into the system, all of our lives. Our parents and their parents before them paid into the system. So we have really lost our way. And I do believe it's a spiritual rot that has set into California. And I am a Christian. I'm a man of God, and I believe God is much more powerful than Satan. And I believe that He's not going to leave us here to die. I think He's going to hear our prayers, and He's going to come back and help us.
Come on, amen, amen. And what can we, the people, do right now? I mean, you said He's going to hear our prayers and help us. So I could imagine that one of the things we can do right now to truly take our power back is to pray. What else can we do in addition to praying right now?
Well, there's a lot. I'll go back to a story. We at one time had a horrible encampment that the county of San Diego had right on our border, and people were getting raped, and it was drugs being sold. It was a terrible thing. And I tried to get the county of San Diego to clean up. They wouldn't. So what I did was I got on TV every day, sometimes 5 or 6 stations a day, and I just pounded them. I said, you are letting this happen. You should be ashamed of yourself. And all my pressure did nothing. But once I got on TV and the people started calling them and saying, "Hey, what are you doing? Why is this happening?" They caved and they closed down that encampment.
Yes.
The power that the people have is monumental. And yet 99% of us believe that we have no political efficacy whatsoever. We just say, "Oh, there's nothing I can do. This is bigger than me. I have no power here." Well, I call foul on that. You do have power.
Come on.
And the power's in the numbers. If thousands of people flood Nora Vargas's office every day and say, "We're going to recall you. You are an abomination," that's going to get her attention. If you call every senator and every assemblyman and you pound them all day long, eventually we're going to make some headway in this. But people have to work. It doesn't happen just because you can't elect a guy like me and say, "Hey, Bill Wells is a good guy. He'll take care of it for me." I'm not big enough. I don't have enough power to do it. But a million of you have more power than you.
Yes.
Any of you do.
So good, Bill. And you know what I'm hearing from you is the importance of people really showing up at the Board of Supervisors meeting. Yesterday, I was shocked that there was a huge group of people that were some of them illegal immigrants. Actually, the majority in that room were illegal immigrants that were protesting or saying, yes, 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 pass this, right? Because it feeds them, it keeps them safe. But the majority was not the people saying, "Hey guys, close this border. We go against this bill. We're going to hold you accountable." I mean, that to me was very concerning that there was such a little show of we the people. But I know that there are many of us in Southern California that are a stand for freedom, that are in support of the incoming administration. So I look at, one of the things I believe that gives us the ability to take our power back, Bill, is when I can take personal responsibility, when each one of us can. And I go, okay, hold on a second. I showed up, but who did I reach out to? Did I reach out to 10 people to say, "Hey guys, join me here," right? So can you imagine, Bill, if each one of us were to reach out to 10 people and to start participating, that would truly make a difference, wouldn't it?
And a lot of people say, "Well, I don't have time to go to a Board of Supervisors meeting," because it's an all day thing, and people have to work and they have to raise kids and they have to do all that. But you can sit in your house at night instead of watching reels. You could write 3 emails a night to elected officials, telling them what you expect of them and what you're going to hold their feet to the fire if they don't.
Yes, and you can call in. So literally you can be at work, you can have that on low, right? Where you know what the topics are because you're paying attention to what's happening. You can schedule it out to be, okay, when that one comes up, that's when I'm going to call in, because you have the ability to call in and allow for your voice to be heard. We've got to speak up. Your voice matters. We need the people to speak up. I mean, this is why President Trump has been saying over and over, "I've been standing in the way of them getting to you." They know the power of we the people. It's now, President Trump cannot do it all. He can't. It is responsible for the state and the cities and counties to take their power back. General Flynn says over and over, and you guys hear me say it, and Bill, I'm not sure if you've heard me say it. If you've seen my shows, you've heard me say General Flynn's words, local action equals national impact. If we're going to take this country back, it's got to start at a local level. So Bill Wells, how can people follow you and bring you onto their shows to have these powerful conversations?
Well, the best thing to do is you can go on my Instagram page, Mayor Bill Wells. You can go on my X page and you can follow me there. But if you want to reach out to me, send me an email at bwells@elcajon, that's ELCAJON.gov. bwells@elcajon.gov. I'll answer every email that's sent to me. And if you want to talk, I can give you a phone call. And I'm very committed to this. I think that I'm very thankful that God has put me in a position where I can try to be effective. And I take that very seriously. And so when people also want to join me in this fight, I'm very thankful about that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bill, I am so excited that we're on the same team. I am, if you're looking at this image here, this was an image that I took on the Sassabee border. This was a real photo that we turned into a cartoon looking, but God said, Kim, you have your guys stand in that wide open gap. And it was very clear that that wall was sawed down and placed on our property. So I wouldn't be surprised if our government is complicit in that, as we can see, right? But God's like, you have those guys stand in the gap and declare out, close the border, close the border, close the border. We had no idea what God was going to do from that point. The seeds had been sown. Words have the power to create life or death. The words we speak are the choice morsels we'll eat. And we went on to create the Take Our Border Back summits across the country, the North America Alliance with USA and Canada as sovereign nations, giving power back to we, the people. We've reached tens of millions across the country, and we stand with San Ysidro, we stand with El Cajon, we stand with San Diego, and we stand with California, my state. I am going to bloom where I'm planted. I am going to partner with my brother and my sister warriors to take this state back. So it is an honor, Bill.
I agree. I'm not leaving.
We're not leaving. We're here for the long haul.
I was born here. This is my home. They're not going to drive me out.
Come on, come on. Well, Bill Wells, may God bless you abundantly as you continue to fight. And we're going to definitely stay in touch together and stay in touch and make sure that we together are working with teams across this great state in this great city and county of San Diego in supporting the upcoming administration in a deportation of the illegal immigrants that have come in during this open border period, and making sure that it is done in a way that is integrous, right? It is safe, because we want to make sure that these people get back to their homeland safely. And we want to make sure that our city, our state, and our country are a safe place to live. I often say you've got to put the mask on yourself first. Not that mask, Bill. The oxygen mask, right? Yeah. The oxygen mask.
Yeah, I'm tired of those masks.
Exactly. So God bless you, my brother, and Godspeed, and we'll be talking to you very soon.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
An honor to have you here. Guys, that is Mayor Bill Wells of El Cajon. He is an absolute fighter for our freedom, our voice to be heard. He's a fighter in closing this border, and he is an absolute support of the upcoming administration and Tom Homan, border czar, ICE's statement that we will deport all illegal immigrants that have come in during this open border period. So what we're going to do right now, don't go anywhere, guys. We've got an incredible next piece to share with you after we thank our sponsors. And we're going to bring in yesterday's San Diego Board of Supervisors meeting, a couple of clips from that, and I believe a word spoken for this time. So we'll be back in just a minute after we thank our sponsors. All right. I absolutely love my cup of coffee every morning. Have you heard of America Java? We call it American First Java. And it's in support. They have come to support our Take Our Border Back movement, as well as the Take Your Power Back show. So if you go to tobbjava.com, that's T-O-B as in boy, bjava.com, you're going to find our America First coffee mug that I use every day. And I'm actually surprised I left it in the kitchen while getting ready this morning, because I normally have it right here with me with my coffee in it. But it is Arabica coffee. It is organic. It is also air roasted. It is absolutely delicious. They have the little Keurig cups as well. And I'll tell you what, my husband said to me the other morning, Kim, I have never tried coffee that I absolutely love. He's stopped going out for his coffee now. He's utilizing the America First Java. It's absolutely incredible. And did you know that when you're drinking your cup of coffee and buying your coffee from America First Java at TOBBjava.com, you're also supporting those children that have been trafficked? That's important to know. So when you're purchasing out there, remember you're voting with your dollars. So where are you spending your dollars and who are you supporting? Let's support the things that matter. Go to TOBBjava.com and get an incredible fresh cup of coffee that you're absolutely going to love. America First Java, and that's TOBBjava.com. Get your mug as well. Okay, if that supports the Take Your Power Back show as well as Take Our Border Back. Now, without further ado, I want to say, General Flynn, thank you for all you're doing. General Flynn has been warring with us and has been supporting all of us freedom-loving patriots who've taken on shows to bring you the real truth. He is a supporter of educating you when it comes to 5th-generation warfare. That's right, 5th-generation warfare. We are warring right now. So if you don't think we're at war, we are at war. You want to go to flynnmovie.com/Kim. Why do you want to go to flynnmovie.com/Kim? Not only are you going to be able to access your 5th-generation warfare, humanity's guide against globalism, but you're also going to be able to access the Flynn movie. So if you want to get a taste or an understanding of what 5th generation looks like on the political realm of how this global elite has come in to destroy this country, you want to come in and you want to watch that movie, flynnmovie.com, as well as get your book. It's we have the 5th-generation warfare, we have the one on AI, and the one for the church. Are you a pastor? Go get your book. Go to flynnmovie.com/Kim. Again, flynnmovie.com/Kim. And with that being said, you've been listening to the Take Your Power Back show. This is about stepping into your God-given power and allowing your voice to be heard. You can be one of our sponsors and support us by making a generous donation. And guys, a $5 donation is a generous donation too, as well as a $500 or $5,000. Every cent that you give to TakeYourPowerbackShow.com creates the space where we get to bring on our warriors. We get to also go to the places where most people don't go, spending their day at the Board of Supervisors in San Diego. Not the most fun and a long day, but it actually provides the space where we could do a press release. So we're going to go right now into the next part of our show, and I want to give you guys yesterday's press release video. Let's hop back into the Take Your Power Back show. And our music is up as we're rolling on in. Oh, there it is. All right, here we go. Take Your Power Back show. I love it, guys. When you go live, you go live. You know, sometimes you miss your cues, sometimes you don't, but you can't make up for it. This is just the real deal, and we are the real deal. Again, I'm Kim Yeater from the Take Your Power Back show. We just had the privilege and honor to speak with San Diego's, or let's just say Southern California's El Cohon Mayor, Bill Wells. Today's show has been an incredible show. The title of the show is Super Sanctuary San Diego. Yep, we became the 11th super sanctuary county, okay, in California yesterday with the 3-1 vote. And let me just tell you, that vote took our power away. That vote that our Board of Supervisors voted on says that they are not in support of the incoming administration's goal and commitment and action to close the border and to safely deport the illegal immigrants, that illegal aliens that have come in during this open border period. That's right. They voted on that. So we are one of 11 sanctuary states. Guys, it is absolutely horrid what is happening here. But what you just heard from Mayor Bill Wells, I'm praying that gives you hope. There's something that we can actually do. We've got to continue to stand. Now, we talked about a spiritual war. We talked about how to end homelessness. We talked about how we, the people, can stand up and speak up and actually take action right now. And we also talked about a revolutionary war, that this is a revolution that's happening right now. There is a very clear divide across this country. And I'm telling you, if you think we've won, it's not over yet. It's now this interim of time that the globalists are working very hard behind the scenes to take down this country. And they are infiltrating the board of supervisors and those people showing up at the board of supervisors saying, yes, 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 allow these illegal aliens to stay. Go against this current the incoming administration. Guys, it is absolutely wicked that's happening. You don't have a border, you don't have a nation. We've already seen the deaths of people like Rachel Morin, Nungare. We've seen multiple deaths and murders, rapes and murders across this country already. And like you heard Bill Wells say, fentanyl killing our teenagers right now, and services that should be provided to veterans that are not being provided right now. And if you look at North Carolina, what happened with the devastating hurricane in North Carolina, even those people right now still do not have their needs met. Where is the FEMA money? Where is the FEMA money? Well, it's going to the NGOs to fund the illegal immigrants. This is an aiding and abetting in supporting the illegal immigrants. This goes against our Constitution. Article 4, Section 4 of our Constitution. This is a national breach of security, and it must stop because there is a mass invasion happening. Now, I want to bring you into the video yesterday. You know, I had the honor and privilege to speak at a press conference. This was prior to the Board of Supervisors meeting. You can go back and watch all of our show yesterday, or not the show yesterday, but the Board of Supervisors meeting at X. So at Real Kim Yeater, you'll find it there. You'll also find it at Kimberly Yeater and the Take Your Power Back show on Facebook. But let's bring that video clip up when I had the opportunity to speak. Now, forgive us for the sound system that was there. We're going to have to just deal with it. But I think the message is a message that President Trump needs to hear, that every illegal alien across the country needs to hear, and that our American people need to hear. Let's play that clip.
Shot 3 times. Thank you, Jesus, for the Bible in his pocket with a metal plate that protected him. But do you know, in his own state right now, he is not being funded by the veterans. He's not being funded because there's no more money, because that money has gone to the illegal aliens. This will stop. We must take care of our people first.
Yeah. There we go.
We've heard it said over and over, put the mask on yourself. Not that mask. We're talking about the oxygen mask. We must take care of our country first. It is then we will be able to take care of the rest of the world. The world is looking to us, America. Stand up, speak up, show up. We will close this border, and we will deport all illegal aliens with the process that is set up by the incoming administration. With that being said, we have the ability to take our power back, so let's do it. God bless you, and God bless this country. I'm Kim Yeater from the Take Your Power Back show, and Take Our Border Back.
Is that out? All right, awesome. You can, thank you so much. So you can, I'm saying thank you to my back end who played that clip. You can watch the full clip. Go back and watch that full clip. It's a powerful clip because, you know, in this clip, we are speaking out saying, Board of Supervisors, you're on notice. You are on notice. If you say yes to these things that are on the agenda in regards to the border, if you say yes to this, you now are complicit in aiding and abetting of illegal aliens. Okay. And you will be dealt with harshly. And I say harshly because ICE is not messing around. I have sat in interviews with Tom Holman and Derek Maltz, squeezed in the middle. Go check them out on my Rumble, guys. And let me tell you what, these warriors were hamstrung. The current administration kept them hamstrung. They couldn't protect the children. They couldn't do their job and protect this country. And something was activated in me that day. And let me tell you what, it was from that day forth that I went on this mission to close that border. But these guys, they've been unleashed. So watch out, because they are coming for you, every single one of you. Now, I am all about safe, legal immigration, guys. We have a process in place. I am from the islands of Azores off of Portugal. My family is from there, as well as Quebec, Canada. Okay, we came into this country legally, guys, legally. We've had to go through the process. Those that are here legally, and we know people that have been spending 15 years to get their loved ones. They are now legal in this country. They've been working on getting their loved ones here. They've paid the money. They've been applying the process, but they're still waiting. Okay, it's unfair to them. Yes, we've got to tweak some things and fix some things. And those things now are brought to light, and we will be doing that. We have teams working on that. So the Take Your Power Back show is in full support of the current administration. Beep, 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 XX. The Take Your Power Back show is not in support of the current administration. The Take Your Power Back show is in support of the incoming administration and ICE doing their job. So thank you, Tom Holman. Thank you, President Trump, for putting Tom in place and his teams like Victor Avila, like Rodney Scott, like Jason. We love you guys. Thank you for the work you've done. You have been an incredible support to Take Our Border Back. If you guys haven't taken a look at Take Our Border Back, go to takeourborderback.com. All right. With that being said, I think that was today's show. I think enough has been said. I'm here to fight. And I want you to stand with me. San Diego, San Marcos, Oceanside, San Ysidro, Irvine, Southern California. It's time to join forces. We've got to start showing up, and we need to plan. What's that old saying? You either plan to succeed by planning, or if you don't plan, you plan to fail. It's something along those lines, okay? So let's get a plan in place and let's take this country back. So thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. I'm Kim Yeater with the Take Your Power Back show. I absolutely love you. Stay tuned. We're going to keep you abreast as to what's happening here in Southern California with the border. I'm going to work towards bringing Tom Holman back on the show, Victor Avila back on the show, and let's get it from the horse's mouth. And let's continue to see what we can do to get us out of this corrupt, anti-constitution sanctuary state and sanctuary county that we are. We've got to fight, guys. We need to take the state back. I love you. God bless you. Follow us at the takeyourpowerbackshow.com. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com. And remember, yes, pray. Yes, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, for your work is not in vain. And remember this, he who began a good work in you will carry it out to the very end. We are praying and declaring for his kingdom on this earth as it is in heaven. Let's go create it. God bless you. God bless this country. God bless America.
Thank you for joining us for the Take Your Power Back show. As Peak Performance Breakthrough Coach Kim Yeater speaks to other freedom-loving Americans that are making a positive impact in the world by standing in truth amid adversity. Listen in weekly and learn how to take your power back in your freedom, in your personal and professional life, in technology and creativity, and in your faith. Be encouraged, be inspired, be transformed as you step into your power and take action in your leadership and allow your voice to be heard. Together, let's take your power back. To sponsor and support the Take Your Power Back show, go to takeyourpowerbackshow.com. That's takeyourpowerbackshow.com and take